watching the Seafood News Weekly video brought to you by the Winter 2022 issue of Urner Barry's Reporter magazine. The new issue is filled with can't-miss content regarding rising prices, adding more pressure to markets. Keep an eye out for stories on how U.S. shrimp imports are in position to set another record and how crab quotas are slashed heading into 2022. Visit urnerberry.com/reporter to read a digital copy or to sign up to receive your free issue in the mail. I'm Seafood News Managing Editor Amanda Buckle.
And I'm Urner Barry Seafood Market Reporter Lauren Castiglione. I am excited to kick off our first video of 2022, but our top story isn't far off from what we were talking about this time last year. Alaska COVID cases are on the rise again. The Delta variant is still the dominant one in the state, and between December 29th and January 2nd, Alaska health officials reported over 2,800 new cases in residents and 126 non-resident cases. Anchorage is the hardest hit with just over 1,500 cases. Focusing specifically on the impact on seafood, 3 positive tests were confirmed at a seafood processor in Unalaska. The in-person Alaska Board of Fish meeting, originally scheduled for January 4th through the 15th to discuss regulatory changes to salmon, herring, and crab management, has also been postponed out of an abundance of caution due to the rise in COVID cases. SeafoodNews.com is resuming weekly coverage of the COVID-19 virus in Alaska with a focus on seafood ports and fishing communities. So be sure to check in there for the full coverage.
Meanwhile, Fortune International ended 2021 with the completion of their acquisition of Ocean Harvest Wholesale. Ocean Harvest Wholesale was established in 1992 by Eric Tran, and the company, which is a wholesaler, importer, marketer, distributor, and processor of fresh and frozen seafood products, has a 70,000 square foot distribution center in Houston, Texas, as well as a shrimp processing plant in Louisiana. Through the acquisition, Fortune International's Fortune Fish and Gourmet will now have direct access to Houston. In addition, the company will gain logistic efficiencies throughout all the states they serve along the Gulf Coast. The acquisition of Ocean Harvest Wholesale marks Fortune International's 12th transaction since launching their acquisition strategy in 2012.
And in other news, despite some rough weather and worker shortages along the coast, slowing down the Dungeness crab season around the holidays, the 2021-2022 season has already surpassed the previous season in landings and ex-vessel value. As of January 4th, the Oregon Dungeness crab fleet has landed 12.8 million pounds of crab after the season started on time on December 1st. The current ex-vessel value of $63.3 million, above the $60.6 million for all of last season. Using a conservative economic multiplier of 2, it is estimated that the Oregon Dungeness crab fishery has already injected $126.5 million into the state's economy this season.
And finally, new year, new labeling requirements from the USDA. Back in 2018, U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue announced the National Bioengineered Food Disclosure Standard. This standard requires food manufacturers, importers, and other entities that label foods for retail sale to disclose information about bioengineered food and BE food ingredients. Prior to the standard, each state had different regulations on label disclosures for genetically modified foods. The new rule was created to provide a mandatory uniform state national standard for disclosure of information to consumers about the BE status of foods. The rule was effective February 19, 2019, with an implementation date of January 1st, 2020, an extended implementation date for small food manufacturers of January 1st, 2021, and finally, a mandatory compliance date of January 1st, 2022.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel below and head over to seafoodnews.com or visit the Seafood tab in Comtel for a comprehensive look at the latest market and industry news.
And don't forget to listen to a new episode of the Seafood News Podcast released on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes every week. Thanks for watching, and you
be
well.